Hi, welcome to another Veganizer video. This one is about my recent vasectomy operation, what it was like and why you might consider getting one too. So I've had a vasectomy operation because I decided I definitely didn't want to have kids. I was 22 when I met my wife, she was 18, and by that point we pretty much knew that we didn't want to have kids. And ever since then, the reasons to not have kids have only gotten stronger. So the main reason we didn't want to have kids, I guess, is because we always questioned the world around us. We always looked at what other people were doing and said, is that really what we want to do? Or do we want something different? And I think we both knew from a young age that we didn't just want to live the normal, standard kind of life. We didn't just want to get a job, get married, have kids, buy a house, blah, 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 all that stuff. We just never felt drawn to doing that. And we never really felt drawn to being parents. So parenting is a tough job to do, and it's a huge commitment. And it's a commitment that we decided we didn't want to make. We decided that we wanted to do other things with our time. There's a saying, you can do anything but you can't do everything, and that is totally true. And if you want to achieve, if you have certain things in life that you really want to achieve, then you have to focus on those things, and that means you have to make sure you cut out other things that would prevent you from doing what you want to do. So we both decided that having kids was just not a priority for us, and ultimately not for us at all. Another big reason for not having kids is that we already have a human population of around 7 billion. Why is it a good idea to add more people to that number? 7 billion people in itself isn't necessarily a problem. It's the fact that humans and their domesticated animals now make up the lion's share of the biomass on the planet, and this is a really unhealthy state for the planet. A large human population isn't in of itself the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that 7 billion people all want to eat meat, dairy and eggs, and that is putting so much pressure on the planet. So yeah, although if we had kids they would be vegan kids, I know that, but still, adding more kids to the planet, it just doesn't make sense. What we need is more vegans. That doesn't mean we should breed more vegans, it means we should convert more people to veganism. That's the only solution. That's the only sane solution in my mind. If we ever did decide that we really wanted to have children though, there are 18 million orphans in the world right now. 18 million kids without parents. And if I wanted to have kids, I would be happy to adopt one of those kids. So because humans are now putting so much pressure on the planet, you've got to ask yourself, can the planet sustain life much longer if we carry on the way we are? And the answer is definitely no, it can't. So what kind of a future would my children have if I was to have children? I don't know. I wouldn't want to live in that future. Humanity is going to be faced with huge problems with the way it's currently heading in my lifetime alone, let alone future generations. So it really would be insane for me to have kids now in this world that we live in. I sincerely hope that we can turn things around, but if the global population doesn't adopt a vegan diet soon, I think that the future is very bleak. So to sum it up, in 2016 there's more important things to be done than having kids. So if you're aware of the problems in the world, you'd be a much bigger help. You've got a much bigger call to duty to help spread the message about the solution to the problems rather than just adding more problems to the world. So I've known for a long time that I didn't want to have kids, so why have I waited till now to have a vasectomy? Well, I guess I'm a bit of a wuss, and I didn't like the idea of messing around with my body, changing things. I was a little bit worried about it. But with other people, other vegan YouTubers having vasectomies recently, it just got me thinking, like, I just need to step up and get it done. So if you know you don't want kids, or if you've already got kids, now's the time to get a vasectomy. It's the only way to have a hassle-free sex life where you don't have to wear condoms, you don't have to take the pill, you don't have to monitor your fertility or whatever. All these things that just aren't very reliable, aren't very safe for your health, or just aren't very enjoyable to use. So if you're a guy and you're considering getting a vasectomy yourself, then I'll tell you a little bit about it, what it was like. If you're thinking about it, go and get it done. Look into it and get it done, because I'll tell you, it's not a big deal at all. So a couple of days before the operation, you have to shave your balls. That's probably the trickiest part of it. When you go for the operation, they give you a local anesthetic, and I was a little bit worried about that too, getting an injection in your scrotum. But actually, it's only like you just feel a little prick and a little bit of pressure for a few seconds, if anything, and then it's gone. It's all numb. I didn't feel anything during the actual operation, and the doctors gave me a Valium pill, which I actually decided to take that because I knew I would be pretty anxious, and I'm glad I did, because I just felt normal during the operation, even though I'd taken a Valium, because I had so much adrenaline. So I was pretty sore for about 10 days afterwards, and I didn't start walking the dogs again until about day 11. And when I did, I had to kind of walk slowly. So it can affect you for a while. Some people are only affected for a few days, if anything, but for me it was like 10, 11 days. So my number one tip for recovery would be to use ice. You need to use like a bag of frozen peas or something like that. Keep putting it in the freezer, take it out, put it against your, not against your bare skin, but just put it against like a thin t-shirt or something over your balls, and then put the ice on there. And do that for 20 minutes, and then put it back in the freezer for 20 minutes. In fact, actually have 2 bags, because it will start to just defrost over time. So if you have 2 and you alternate, then it will have more time to get cold in the freezer again. So alternate 2 bags of frozen peas onto your balls every 20 minutes. And you could do that for days and days. Do it for as long as you need to, until there's no swelling. If there's any swelling, get the ice on there again. It really is the best way of keeping the pain down and the swelling down. And the less swelling that you have, obviously, the faster it's going to heal up. So I had the modern technique of a no scalpel vasectomy. So all they do is they make a tiny little hole in your scrotum. So they go in there, they pull out the vas deferens, they cut a piece out of it, and they sew it up and put it back in. So it really is only a minimally invasive operation. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Share this with your friends if you think it's going to be helpful to them. And subscribe for more videos. Increase the peace. Be vegan.